Rear wheel drive V8 Honda Prelude. It's literally what I think about every single day. Well, today we're working on the final pieces that will help make my dream a reality. We will be bolting up the transmission so that it's no longer being held up by this jack. And then I can measure for a drive shaft and order it. And after that, the rest is standard race car shit. All the hard stuff will be done. So in order to get the transmission in, we gotta do 3 things. Now, the first and most important thing is setting the angle that we need. It won't make or break us if we're off by a little bit, but the closer the better. But now the issue with the angle is the more I raise the transmission to the desired angle, the more things get in the way. So needless to say, there's a portion of the tunnel that still needs to be cut. Then once those 2 things are done, we can bolt the transmission to the car. And I even managed to find both the yokes that I need. Once I get this pushed into the transmission and this bolted onto the axle, I can measure from the center of this U-joint to the center of this U-joint, and that's the measurement that I need to get in order to order a drive shaft. Now to be checking my angle, I have this angle finder here, and all I gotta do is find a straight piece as a reference point on the bottom of the car, and I compare that to the angle on the engine because that's an easy spot to measure. So let's get the hood off with a snap of my fingers. First thing I want to do is I want to see where we're at right now. I just have it in a random spot. I got the transmission jacked up so that it looks like it's in a good spot, but I have no idea what the angle is, so let's find that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the car, I'm going to stick this on the frame, and then I'm going to zero it out because that will be our 0 mark, and then I will bring it over to the engine and see the difference. And right now I know it's upside down, but that's how I have to measure it. It looks like we have an angle of about 5.5. I want to get close to 3. Now guys, bear with me, this will be my first time trying to record with the main camera and the GoPro at the same time. So I can already tell we're gonna have to work on something here because I've raised it up as much as I could without the transmission actually touching up in here. But this transmission mount is already bowing, not bowing, but there's a flexing point, the pivot point on the middle here because it's 1 bolt. And because we're pressing up against here, this side is going up, we're not straight, and I kind of want this transmission mount to be straight. So I may not actually be able to use that transmission mount. I might have to take that off. All right, guys, the workbench is a mess right now, so bear with me. So the reason why I don't think this is going to work is because it seems like this was intended to go directly in a Camaro because that's what this came out of. And the mounting points are at different heights. You can see this one's much higher and this one's way lower. The good news though is that I've previously had this transmission installed in that car before we realized we weren't going to use this one. And Greg and Chris already helped me figure out how we're going to do this one and bolt this one into the car. And the way this one bolts up is very similar to the T56. So the goal was to go straight across the bottom of the car, going across 2 frame rails and then hitting the transmission in the middle. So this one won't work. And what we previously came up with is something like this. Since we've already got this and I kept it, I'm gonna see what this looks like if I just take this and put it underneath the car and where it sits. We've even already got the hole in the middle here, so this should go right on the bolt. All right, I'm going in. So let's see if this even works. It looks like it does. All right, well, as you guys see, obviously it fits on the transmission because it's very similar to the T5 that we had, like I said. But now it's kind of doing this teeter-totter thing because the transmission is not as high as it needs to be because we've already set the angle of this transmission and we knew where it needed to sit. And it looks like the position of this one's very similar to the T56. I thought that one was gonna be a lot more bulky and maybe the mounting point would be lower, so there would be a difference in height, but we're looking like we're pretty close. So let's focus on achieving that angle that we're looking for, and we're gonna see what we need to cut out of the car so that we can keep raising this thing up. So we wanna go a little bit higher, and it looks like nothing is touching except for maybe over here. Okay. You know what, guys? I think we're in pretty good shape. There's one spot. I'm gonna go get my marker and mark it out and show you guys what I'm talking about. It looks like if we cut from right around here, right to the end, and we just come down here. I don't have the full mark yet, but I know what ways I need to go. I just need to make my corners, and I know that it's just straight cuts from here. Also, if we're coming up here, we need to get this out of the way. Right about back here to here. So if we cut out that marked area, we should make room so that we can keep going up. I made a big boo-boo. Nothing with the car, I just forgot to record a few minutes here. But I got that jacked up to where I think it would be, and then I threw the angle finder on and checked this out. I don't know if you guys can read numbers upside down, but that's 3 right on the money. So now let's go under the car and see how the transmission mount works. Hey, there you go. Well, you can see the difference. That's the hole where the transmission used to be when I was using the old T5 there. But now we're somewhere back here, and I'm gonna actually drill those holes from the bottom of the car coming up, and then we can bolt this thing in. Great, so now I got the transmission in place, it's bolted, there's no more jacks holding it up, and now I can go ahead and put the yokes on, and we can get a measurement for our drive shaft. Wow guys, today I'm really good at forgetting to hit record. So the flange yoke is in, but luckily the slip yoke, I can show you guys that real easily. All right, now we gotta record from the center of the U-joint to the center of the U-joint. And we are at 45 1/4. Now I was told to push the slip yoke in all the way and then pull it out a half or 1 inch actually. So it will be 45 1/4 minus 1 is 44 1/4. Quick maths. All right, well, that was satisfying. Now I can get the car off the jack stands finally, until we get the drive shaft at least. But we know where everything's gonna be. We can start working on that partition that I've been talking about for the trunk. I can start running all the fuel lines and all the wires and take care of all the small stuff, really. Now, earlier I did mention to you guys that this is my dream. Now, as much as I am obsessed with the idea of driving this car is not specifically my dream. Doing this on the daily and being able to share it with you guys is truly what I dream of doing. And the fact that I'm doing it now full time is a great feeling, and I really owe it to you guys. None of this would be possible without you. I know I may just seem like another car YouTuber who's just working on his project car, but I promise you it's way more than that. I love the idea of giving back to you guys, and I've been trying to do that with free stickers, random free merch here and there, and I've even surprised one of my subscribers in person with a whole bunch of stuff. What I'm doing for you guys right now is on a small scale because I'm still not where I want to be. I think the reason why I'm so inspired on giving back to you guys is mainly from people that I've grown up around in my life, and one of those main people is my father-in-law Fred. The fact that he's never had a son and I've never had a dad, and we're both really into cars, we bonded quickly and it's a very strong bond. You better believe that as this channel levels up, the amount that I'm going to be giving back to my community is going to grow even more. And I want to give back to the people that are close to my life as well. I want you watching right now to know that you matter more than you think. I want to be different than other YouTubers and show you that this channel is not just about me, it's about us. Honestly, thank you guys for the ongoing support. It means the world to me. And if you guys want a great example of how giving and generous Fred is, you guys should definitely check this out.